Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be deep diving into the necessary things that you need to know in order to play solo cash cups. We went through the VODs, we got the best tips, and these are the 10 things pro players do in solo cash cups. Let's go! Number 1. It is not about kills. Now this is one that a lot of people seem to misunderstand and is the biggest difference between a trio cash cup and a solo cash cup. In solo cash cups, it is not about kills. You do not need to drop a big kill win. You do not need to be going for 20 bombs in your first game. It is all about consistency. It is all about saving as many games as you can in order to have 4 games towards the end of the last hour. If you take a look at the leaderboard of one of the last solo cash cup winner, Alex, you can see that his biggest kill game was a 12 kill win, and the majority of those kills were all from endgame. So just focus on playing for endgame and getting as many placement points as possible. Number 2. Have a game plan. Now this is one of the more important ones to have, and it's very obvious. You just need to know what you want to do for every single game. So if it means planning out your loot path, knowing where you want to farm your materials, playing Storm for first zone for example, you need to have a solid game plan that is consistent across all your games. So for example, if you're going towards a draw spot and you're dying there every single time in arena, then it's just not worthwhile for you to land there in a cash cup. So find a game plan that suits you and your playstyle. If you're an aggressive player, play a little bit more central towards the map. If you're a very passive player, land on a few chests and play edge zone. It's all about your playstyle. Have a game plan. Number 3, play the leaderboard. Now this is very similar to the one that we had from before about the kills. It is about playing the leaderboard and knowing what elo you are at the current game. So for example, you have a 10 kill win in your first game and then you die 10th place like 3 times in a row for example, then you're probably going to be in a relatively bad lobby. Now in this sort of lobby, then you can play a little bit more aggressively and try to push yourself up towards the leaderboard. By playing the leaderboard, you want to be around top 500 when you're going into the last hour, so play accordingly, play aggressively in spots when you're, for example, above top 1000 and you feel like you can play aggressively against players with below your skill level. Play the leaderboard, always check it after every single game and have that determine your playstyle for that game in order to catch up or to slow down. Number 4, and this one's a very basic one, it's just about using your markers. You have to know where zone plays and where you want to rotate to in these late moving zones. By using your marker, you are able to mark basically where dead side is, where the zone pulled from, where you want to rotate to. Give yourself a goal. Using your marker is free, it's very easy, and it can help you in those stressful late game situations when you're trying to tarp and you're getting pressure from other players to know exactly where you want to go. So use that marker and mark every single zone in late game. Number 5, hide in your cone in moving zones. Now this one basically means that once you're in a static zone in moving zone and you don't need a refresh or you don't need to do anything in those late game situations, just hide in your cone. Hiding your cone is a lot safer than hiding inside of your box because people can pressure your box and take your wall. However, if they're looking inside of your box and they see no one inside of it, then you're pretty much safe in your cone always. Your cone also provides you more information about the layer that you're on and the people that are nearby. So always sit in your cone rather than in your box when you're doing nothing. Number 6, second height is your friend. Now this one is a little bit awkward because you're very used to not playing second height from trios. However, in solos there's only one person on high ground that can only pressure you. So second height is usually going to be the freest layer possible because there's literally no one near you and on your layer. You don't need to play that mid ground. Playing second height in these early zones, in moving zones, can be your friend because you can save a lot of mats because you don't have to build to your left and you don't have to build to your right. It is very simple. Number 7, camp for kills. Now, only playing placement is obviously not going to get you a top 10 or top 20 performance in a cash cup, or maybe even top 100. So you need to be funneling your points into some kills in certain games, especially when you're in high elo. As you can see here, Alex, for example, loves to sit in a car and wait for unsuspecting players to rotate past them and jump inside of the car, and then he jumps out, shoots them, and then tries to kill them afterwards. backwards. You can do this, or you can camp on a chest in a center zone, and that seems to work out pretty well. Just make sure that you don't miss your shots. Number 8, play the storm for first zone. Now this is only relevant if you are in a relatively unstacked game. However, second zone surge doesn't happen that often in solos, especially solo cash cups, so this can be useful almost every single time. If you do not want to fight people, if you want to avoid aggressive players, then just play storm for the first zone and then wait for second zone to appear, and then instantly drive towards second zone edge or center to play the game the safest way possible. No one can W key you if you're in storm. Carry medkits and you should be fine and safe to not get W keyed at all. Number 9, make 2x1s in late game. Now this one is very important, especially when you're looking for impact frags as well as being in static zones. Too often I see players sitting inside of a 1x1 in late game when they have a lot of mats, and then they get pushed by another player, and then they have nowhere to escape to and get shot from behind from another player behind them. So what is really important is to make your own space so that you can box fight in late game. Make a 2v1 once you get into static zones. It gives you the maneuverability and the space to box fight someone, as well as another safe box to run to if you do get pushed in late game. And number 10, white heals are your friend. Now this one is so important in a pad meta. If you just get unlucky and you don't have a launch pad in solos, you're going to have to use a lot of mats into first moving or find a way to reuse another player's launch pad. So if you have an empty space and you don't want to be carrying triple shield, then carry medkits or land in a spot where you can get floppers, because you will be able to reuse another player's launchpad just by stanking storm and first moving, for example, and having the time to scout and find launchpads. And those were the top 10 things that pro players do in solo cash cups. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then check out the other ones on Novastar GG, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.